Good morning, Ses'khona viewers. We are reporting from GS College in Evander to answer most of the questions that we received regarding the registration processes that are currently underway at GS College campuses. In front of me here, I've got two colleagues who work at GS College that are actually going to clarify the processes to us. Colleagues, can you please kindly introduce yourselves to our viewers?
My name is Sina Dladlankosi. I'm the chairperson of the registration team.
I am Gert Sibande. I'm heading the Student Support Services event campus.
All right. Can you please kindly tell our viewers when registration opened?
Actually, our registration started last year when they started doing the placement test, but the actual registration started on the 10th of January 2023 at 8 o'clock in the morning.
All right. And then currently, what is the show up of the students that are currently showing up for registrations?
We had a very big number of students that came through, prospective students. I think the day we opened on the 10th, we had about over 800 students that came through at the campus. These were different students. Some of them are walk-ins, some of them are online. In fact, they came to finalize their registrations because we started actually assisting others with the pre-registration on the 4th, but a very small number of that. But and then we had for N4 as well, introduction N4 students, and then we had also students that were interested also to register for the N3 native engineering.
And then should we have students that do not prefer to walk in and they wish to apply online, how can they go about it?
Actually, online registration is allowed, but that doesn't make you the student at GS College. Remember, we've got requirements that one needs to follow, like our placement test, our APS score. So if you register online without these requirements that our college required, like placement test and APS score, therefore you will not be automatically be registered. But you need to via all these other venues, and then if you qualify, then you will be captured, and then you are a student at our college there.
All right. And then we also had a question regarding the matric results that are coming out. I think it's on the 20th of January. Does the college have a system that's going to be able to accommodate those learners, which is not going to affect their year program?
Yes, we are actually going to, even our own results from our students as from the campus, they are also going to be released on the 19th of January. So the ones that are coming from matric, also that would have passed, will be given an opportunity to also enroll for N4 for business studies, also maybe after the 19th of January.
Okay, and for those who wish to register, maybe to avoid disappointments for other learners who are not going to show up with all their required documents, what do these learners need to bring along with them to make sure that they are properly registered?
We require they bring their certified ID copies, they bring their results from high school, certified copies. And then if ever they want to, and proof of registration, proof of residence, my apologies. And then if ever they want to apply for the bursary as well, they need also to bring the certified copies of their parents as well. And then, but would advise them that if ever they are going to do, to come as walk-ins, they need actually to have at least 2 copies of each and every document, like for your results, for your proof of residence, the ID copies, your ID copies, and then for the parents.
All right.
I wanted to encourage the prospective students that would like to join the institution in 2024 that our placement test for NCV will start opening them up in August this year. We encourage them to come and write the placement test, and then if they pass the placement test, we'll give them the forms to fill up and to submit their documents, so that when we are going to begin with the registration the following year, at least we'll be sending them communication to say, at this specific day, let them come, because they've already written the placement test the previous year. Because most of the students, what we've experienced right now, or the prospective students, is that some of them were returned. Even there were new students that came in even today without a placement test, without anything. So this brings a challenge, and we don't want to see students or prospective students coming to sleep at the gate. We don't want to encourage that, because we start our processes as early as August. So we would like to encourage them that by now, August, if ever it is possible, come to the campus, inquire, fill the forms, submit whatever that is required. Then you are securing your space for the following year. There won't be a need for you to sleep at the gate. No. You'll be assisted in that manner.
My name is Tendo Bwasi from Ses'khona newspaper. Here in front of me, I have a student who just registered at GS College. Then, can you please introduce yourself? Here in front of me, I have two colleagues here. They will introduce themselves and they will tell us how the registration goes.
Greetings, viewers. My name is Sibande TVET. I'm the chairperson of Evander Campus and also the Secretary General of the college. Yes, I'll hand over to my colleague to introduce himself.
No, thanks very much, my brother. My name is Njabulo Mngoma. I am the current regional secretary of Ses'khona and also the district committee member of the Young Communist League of South Africa. And we greet also your viewers. Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, ngiyabonga. So here I want to ask, like, as the registration already started, how's the registration going up so far, and how are you handling like the registration process up so far?
For now, I can positively say that we have done absolutely the best, because looking at the numbers that we have today, it shows that we've quite registered a number of them, because also when we receive reports of the courses that have been used, or the courses that have been filled up, we can positively say that no, we are on a good slate. We are moving in a good slate. For now, we're just waiting for the returning students, but then with the new students, we've done absolutely our maximum best, and we are very positive on this one.
Yes, no, you said it well. Look, the registrations, they actually started from the 4th, and from those very same, from the 3rd of January, we're here. We slept here outside campus gate with students. Of course, looking at the balance of forces in terms of the TVET colleges, they have shifted. TVET colleges are no longer as they were before. Young people now have recognized and realized that TVET colleges are no longer a second option. They are also an option to be reckoned with because of what they produce and what they have done in terms of the South African graduate and producing young people who are going to produce the economy and participate actively in the economy. So we've been here from Monday. This week we're here, we camped here outside campus gates with of course young people who come from the class divided society. Ourselves who are in organization, who are here deployed by the organization to come and participate in our annual Joe Slovo Right to Learn campaign. So we're here to assist the black child. We're here to ensure that a black child gets access to these institutions of higher learning. We're here to open the gates of higher learning for young people of South Africa. And also we must also say that, as he's saying, it was true, of course, our practical effort and commitment that such a magnitude of progress is being made. Of course, looking at the situation and the environment currently, the students that are here, or the learners who are here to complete their registrations, there are not many as they were Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it shows that through our practical effort and commitment, we have made progress in that regard. And of course, we are happy, we are very much happy that students are coming here in numbers to register, and we are very much happy that we are on the ground, because it's not only me and the Secretary General of the institution that are assisting students. But there are many young people who are volunteering freely, of course, not paid, deployed by our various organizations to come and assist these students who are here, who are on the ground, who are assisting students. Of course, we are working very hard, and the commitment we from our side and from the side of the management is quite well, because so far we haven't reached the point where we have to close gate, make noise with the management. So far the process is moving. Of course, we will not assist everyone because there's a certain number in intake that the college must absorb. It will not be everyone, but with the number that we've assisted and with the response that we get from parents saying that they thank us, they appreciate what we've done with their children, opening gates of higher learning for them. We are very much happy.
Oh, thank you very much. So as you have mentioned that like there are some courses, or yeah, if I can mention it that way, that they are already full or filled up. So there's, I don't know if I have to call them students, but let me just say that children who are coming from far, they slept at the gate as we have mentioned. So how are you assisting those children like throughout this registration process?
On that one, understanding their situation that they are from far, we actually try to prioritize them so that they register first, as to at least if they go back home, they go back with something that they say, now we have registered, here's the paper, now the only thing that is left for us is to take our clothes and go back to school. So we have tried to prioritize the ones who are coming from afar, and also the ones who slept at the gate on Sunday when it was on Monday, going to be on Tuesday. So we prioritized those ones also. We mostly, on Monday, we covered all of them, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see also, when you go outside, the number is very small. So it shows that indeed we did our level best, and we are proud to say that. And also to mention that on the intro, on the NATED side intro, we are full on that one. So we would like to invite, because most students have registered for business studies, so we would like to invite more students to come in and register for engineering studies also, because I think we still have a vacuum in the side of engineering. So because, and also looking at the surrounding place that we are in, there are mines here, so we invite them. It would be on their advantage to come and do engineering with us here at Evander campus. So yeah.
Yes. Now, look, on the question of to say what we commit ourselves, or what we do with the students who slept outside the gate. The reason why we always join these students during the night when they come and camp outside the campus gates is on the basis that we need to gauge practically who came first and who was last, so that we ensure that in the morning, even whatever happens in the morning, Tina, ourselves, we were here, we observed, and we were able to gauge in terms of the numbers who were there. We ensure that actually even our response, the response of parents in our text, in our phones, the phone calls that we receive, they are actually thanking us on those bases to say, my child slept there for 2 days, but because of yourselves, young people, we thank you, may God bless you. So those are the words that we get from parents, and we ensure, as my brother, as the Secretary General of the college has stated, we always ensure that those who slept outside gates, they are not excluded, and we ensure that we prioritize them and ensure that we direct them to the venues where they actually register and they are actually accepted in the institution. As the General Secretary have said, to say that it is an inevitable fact, or it is a fact that has been submitted to us, that on the business courses side, they are already full. Now, when we check in terms of the engineering, especially NATED engineering, there's still a lot of space there. There are also students who have written placement tests for engineering, but some of them, they've not came and registered. So we call upon those students to say they must not sit at their homes and undermine TVET. TVETs are what this country needs. TVET are here, and they are here to stay. Looking at the economy of this country, we need more young graduates, especially engineering graduates. So it worries us the fact that till this day, there's still spaces on the engineering side. So we call upon and we ask more young people to come and fill the gap in terms of the engineering courses. Of course, we're available, we're on social media. they can text us. We will explain the process as we always do.
Okay. Lastly, I want to ask, like, as you have mentioned about, too concerned about what, when you said the courses are full. So there will be results for those grade 12, 2022 matric learners. So will they get a space after they get their results on the, when the results are released on the 20th of January?
On that one, my brother, firstly, I would like to first, I don't know, plead with the DHEAD to actually make a way as to we start with registrations after the grade 12s have actually received their results, because it pains me to see a learner coming here and wants to register, but then they say, I haven't received my results. And concerning, it's very concerning to a point whereby now you see that by the time they receive their results would have been done with the registrations. But then this year, I think they might, looking at it, because I'm saying that there's space in engineering studies. So I'm positive that some of them will actually get spaces to come and register for NATED. So I'm positive on that one, that they might get spaces. We wish we would have actual reserved spaces for them, but then we know that not everyone, after they receive their results, they would want to come to a TVET college. Some would want to go to universities. So it's not possible for us to actually reserve spaces for them. Or some, they come and register for NCV, then later on when they receive their results, they deregister and then go and register for NATED. That one also is something that they do. So yeah.
No, I think on that one he has covered. You see, the reason why I was saying was student leaders, the reason why I was saying were activists in this institution is because we are always concerned and worried of the outcome of everything that happened. Number one, you check the way things are structured currently, the system or the process that they are using currently. It disadvantages those who are currently, who are doing matric 2022, because if you check the institutions, especially TVET, they are now admitting students, taking students, but now it raises a question then to a person who's political conscious and to a person who's human conscious to say what will happen to those ones who are still writing, who are still waiting for their results, and their results will be out on the 19th or 20th. Yes, what will happen to them? It's the discussion also. We still have to go and sit down with the management, but so far they've committed that no, they will create space for them. But of course, looking at the practical reality that not everyone will be admitted, because the space that they will create will not be for NCV, it will be the space for NATED site. And NATED site, you qualify to do NATED. It means you have to pass your metric, and you have to pass your metric well in order for you to be admitted this site of NATED. But in terms of NCV, they won't have the opportunity to register for NCV. And it's a question and a struggle we still need to wage and ensure that we successfully wage, because it worries us that institutions, especially Gert Sibande with its magnitude, it takes students before the results of those ones who are doing matric last year. It worries us as student leaders, and it is the submission also was still going to submit to the management, and we are hopeful and we are confident that they will look into that question positively, so and the results will be positive. Next time or the next coming year, things will shift, of course, as we are the influencers of the balance of forces. Thanks.
Okay, lastly, I want to ask for the open questions that as you are part of this institution, what is it that you would like for this institution to improve, especially for the registration in the upcoming years?
On that one, my brother, we try as student leaders, we try to actually push the management as to do things the way that we see that is the best way for students, because we don't want this thing of now having students who sleep outside day before the registrations. So it would be actually a good idea for them to actually sit down and strategize on this thing as to how they're going to maneuver around it, because we cannot be always every year we're having a point whereby we have students who come here and then go back home not registered, because even now we still have students who say we came last year, we didn't get space, even this year it's still the very same thing. So the one thing that we also propose is this is if we have a number that we know this is the number that we want to register, that's the number that they have to allow for students to write placement test, because you cannot allow more students to write placement test, but at the end of the day, they don't get space to register. So that's the submission that we have also submitted to the management.
Yes, and just to also add to what the SG have just alluded to, you see, we have made progress on that one. Number one, we have influenced and shifted some of the decision that the college or the campus made regarding the registration, to say this is what we want the registration to advance to. Number one, we said that we made a submission, and our submission was successful, of course. We said that, no, look, since this year we are going to take students, we know very well that last year there were students who did not get space, but who were here. So those students, they were the first priority this year. They started with those students. That is the posture and the direction we are submitting and we want to see happening each and every year, to say those ones who were disadvantaged this year, next year they must be the first priority. And second to that, it does not sit us well to having to see students every time when there are registrations they have to sleep outside here. So we'll need a best alternative to say how best can we then ensure that students, they don't sleep outside here, but at the very same time students, they get access to this institution of learning. The first thing we'll like the management to look to is the system that they are using. The fact that students are sleeping outside gates, it means the system that we are using currently is still have loophole, and those loopholes need to be closed. Of course, they won't be closed outside campus. It's the question, we must sit down in the boardroom and discuss and find alternatives, because we are from the organization that promotes engagement and that promotes a space for influence. So those are the questions. Of course, we are observing and we are gauging everything. Those mistakes that are happening this year are not the mistakes that will happen next year. As student leaders, that is our obligation to say, if we see loopholes there and there, we go, we submit a memorandum of demand, we go, we sit down with the management. Of course, since we have identified a problem, we submit a solution. That is our role. So in terms of what we want to see, in terms of the advancement of the registration and the smoothness of the registration, we like the management to look into the system, and especially that one of placement tests, because placement tests are an admission test where they test the capacity of a student, if that student qualifies really to come and start. So we want them to look into that question, to not take many students, allow many students to write placement tests, knowing very well that, I'm making an example, they are going to take 100 students, but they allow 200 students to write placement tests. If they have an intake and a goal of taking 100 students, they must allow 100 students to write placement tests, and then from there they close the question of placement tests, because that's what students, they complain about. I have a placement test, but they are saying it's full. How come? So those are the things that we want to see improving. Of course, we'll always be here, and of course we'll always be available for our students, as we understand their posture and their background, that they come from a class divided society. So it is this institution that will change their condition, and it is this institution that will ensure that they have better lives and better future for their younger brothers and sisters, and for themselves as future parents. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.